Hey, welcome to another great episode here at the Pastor's Pantry Cooking School. I'm your host, Chef Sam Peters. Got a great recipe. This is one of those home cooking recipes with a little twist that makes it special. Well, we're glad you're watching today. As we do with every class, we always like to share with our audience the gospel of good taste. You know, there's two things that Joyce and I are passionate about. The first is that we believe everything is about stewardship, that every good and perfect gift we have is given to us by God. James 1:17 tells us that. And food's a gift. Food is an awesome gift. And so we want to teach you some things about food that'll help you make every dining experience great at your house. The second thing that we're passionate about is community. We believe God created us to be in community because Jesus believed that. He was constantly sitting down across the table, eating with people and building relationships. We believe that food is a great metaphor, actually, for community. And so we want to share with you some things today that will help you bring people around your table so that it will once again be a sacred place and a sacred time, and God will be in the middle of it. Well, as I said, we're doing beef noodles. The first thing I'm going to do is to saute. These are beef fillet tips. So I've got a nice hot pan down here. We're going to get all of our beef. I've got probably about 3 pounds. It's a little more than I need, but I had them, so I'm cooking them. Now, here's the great thing. This is that little twist to this. I do beef fillet, reverse sear beef fillet a lot, so we always have beef loin on hand, but I trim it out myself. And so when you trim that out, you end up with a lot of pieces. There's a piece on there called the chain. There's a couple little wing tips on there. Sometimes the very end of it is really good. Not good for steak, but good for this. And so as I'm trimming this out, I save these pieces and I put them in a freezer bag, and we put them in the freezer until I have enough to make a good batch of beef noodles. Now, you can use any kind of beef that you want. Beef roast works great. Sometimes it's just those beef tips that you buy that are specifically already cut for beef roast, and they're the same thing. They're just trimmings that the butcher had. But there's something extra special when you get that tender beef fillet for your beef and noodles. And so what we're doing with this, at this point, we're just going to brown this meat. We're not going to completely cook it. I just want to brown it. It just takes a few minutes to do that because we're going to braise this meat in some liquid for an extended period of time, and that's going to tenderize it even more. So again, we've just got a hot skillet, hot pan. We're just browning this up, putting a little sear on it. That's my wife, producer, and sous chef. You got to understand, she's laughing over there. She hates for me to leave food behind, and apparently there was a little piece of beef tip that was left behind, and so she just throws it in the pan. So it drives her crazy to have food left behind. So we're just having some fun here today. We've been doing a lot of home-cooked meals this season of our life, and one of the things that I've always enjoyed was beef and noodles. You know, you have certain comfort foods, things that maybe your mother or grandmother made for you, and this is one of those that my mom made for us quite a bit. And I'll admit, growing up, you know, poor as a kid, sometimes we certainly didn't have beef fillet ever, but sometimes all we had was ground beef and noodles. And so my mom would make like these little chunks of ground beef, like little mini meatballs, and she would make beef and noodles for us that way. And I always liked mine with a little extra butter on top and some salt and pepper. That's the way I grew up eating it, but I've learned to eat it a lot of different ways. In fact, I'll take something like this as a base and make beef stroganoff and add some sour cream and some heavy cream and some mushrooms to it, and I'll put that over egg noodles too. That's good for me as well. All right, we're just going to continue to brown this up, and when it's done, we'll take it off the flame, and we will saute some onions. All right, we've had our beef browning up here for a few minutes, and what we're going to do is I'm going to turn off the heat temporarily, and we're going to dump this into a bowl, set it aside. I'm going to leave all the juices. Don't get rid of that. That's all good stuff. We want that to all go back in here. we have to prep an onion. So I've got one large onion here. And I just want to get rid of the ends. And then I just want to slice it thin. We're going to leave it sliced for our recipe here. And then we're going to melt that down into some butter. All right, just several thin slices. All right, set that aside here. Now I can get my skillet back here and get it back on the heat. All right, we're going to put a stick of butter in here. And to that stick of butter, we're going to saute these onions till they get nice and soft. And then we're going to add our meat back in here. Get this melted down and nice and bubbly. Okay, our butter is melted and nice and bubbly. We're going to go ahead and slide all of our onion on there. And we just want to saute those till they're nice and tender. Just a couple of minutes ought to do. All right, our onions are softened up nicely. We're going to go ahead and get all of our beef back in here, along with all the juice that we salvaged from that. You stir that around just a little bit. Get those onions up off the bottom and mix into the meat. I'll tell you what, I could just about eat this already. I'm a big steak and onion kind of guy. All right, to this we're going to add 1 cup of beef stock. We're going to add a little bit of dried thyme leaves, 2 bay leaves, season it with some pepper, a little bit of salt to taste. We're going to stir that around, bring it back to a boil, and then we want to braise this for about an hour until that meat gets all nice and cooked and seasoned well. And then we'll have the beef ready to go on our noodles. We'll show you what that looks like when it gets done. All right, our meat has been braising in the beef stock, its own juices, and with the onions for about an hour. They're nice, it's nice and soft and tender. So we've just turned that heat down, let it simmer, let it get all happy, and blessed, okay? Blessed is the beef that is boiling in the broth. Now we need to add a little thickener to this. Now here's how I like to do this. You can add a tablespoon of cornstarch to this and mix it in. It's a little tougher to do that. I like to make a slurry first. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of water and a tablespoon of cornstarch. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stir this until it becomes a slurry. That's easier to add to this beef mixture and let it thicken. And because this is boiling, this cornstarch will make a nice thick little sauce here. So put that on top. Just stir this around. You can see already that juice has already gotten a little bit thicker. I saw a couple of bay leaves. I'm going to fish those out. Don't need those anymore. All right. So our beef is ready for the noodles. So we're going to cook up a pot of egg noodles, and we'll show you what this looks like plated here in just a little bit. Hey, welcome back. We are going to plate all of the great food we've been making today. We've got several little individual episodes out there to watch. We wanted to kind of pull it all together for you here at the end. We're doing some beef fillet tips and noodles. We did some filet mignon. We just took the tips and pieces off of that as you trim those out, and we braised those and we put those together. We also did some glazed carrots today with ginger ale. And so we made a great dish with that. And then we made a jalapeno and cheddar cheese biscuit. And so we're going to plate that for you. We'll start out with a little bit of egg noodles here. Just a little plate of that. Going to top that with this delicious, super tender beef fillet tips. Oh man, that looks fantastic. Some glazed carrots. We just cooked those down till that got nice and syrupy. And then we have a jalapeno biscuit. I'll take that one there. So you can see how nice and large that got. I don't know what camera we're on, that camera right there. Turned out fantastic, okay? There's the dish. I'm anxious to try it. Let me grab a fork. I'm a big beef noodle guy. I love this stuff. This is killer. Absolutely. Beef is so tender. That beef fillet, we braised it for an hour. Melts in your mouth, seasoned perfectly. Then we have our glazed carrots. You get the natural sweetness of the carrots at first, and then that ginger ale, that sweet lemon lime soda comes through. On there. We just got a little bit of parsley there for some garnish as well. But that's fantastic. I want to try this biscuit. So I'm going to tear this open for you here. Look how flaky, delicious. I'm telling you what. I love it. Cheesy jalapeno biscuits. I mean, what's not to like? If you don't like the heat, you can leave that out of there, but I'm telling you what, that's fantastic. Listen, y'all, I hope you make this soon. Go out to our website, patterfamsauces.com. Go to the recipe tab. You'll find all the recipes out there. And then when you make it, do us a favor. Post a picture of it and tag us and put it out on our Facebook page so that we can brag about you. We want to brag about all these new recipes that you're making. That's fantastic. And then we also want to invite you all to go check out our brand new YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel for the Pastor's Pantry. It's called The Pastor's Pantry Cooking School. Okay, or it's actually, sorry, The Pastor's Pantry San Peters is what it's called. So go check that out and subscribe. We're going to be doing a contest soon. As soon as we get 100 subscribers, we're going to give away to 10 winners special prizes. Okay, so go out and subscribe. When we hit 100, we're going to do a drawing. We're going to give away 10 prizes to those people who subscribe. Listen, go home, make this stuff, share it with your friends, share the gospel of good taste with others. Go out and have a blessed cooking day.